Title: Blood and Loyalty. Setting: New York City, 1985. Main characters: Vincent Vinnie Romano, a ruthless but calculated mafia captain trying to rise in the ranks. Frankie Frank Marino, Vinnie's childhood friend and trusted right-hand man. Salvatore Big Sal Costa, the aging boss of the Costa crime family. Anthony Tony Costa, Big Sal's hot-headed and ambitious son. Detective Michael Carter, a relentless NYPD officer determined to take down the Romano crew. Maria Romano, Vinnie's younger sister, who wants him to leave the life behind. Luca, Lucky, DeLuca, a rival mobster looking to eliminate Vinnie and take over his territory. 1. The Rise. The story begins in a dimly lit Italian restaurant in Brooklyn. Vinnie and Frank sit at a corner booth as Tony Costa arrives. Tony, smirking. "You're doing good work, Vinnie. My father's impressed. But me? I need more proof." Vinnie, lighting a cigarette. "Proof? I've been running your operations, keeping the money flowing. What more do you need?" Tony, leaning in. "Luca DeLuca's pushing into our territory. I want him gone. You handle that, and maybe you move up." Vinnie exchanges a look with Frank. They both know Luca is dangerous, but an opportunity like this doesn't come often. Frank lowers his voice. "You sure about this, Vinnie? Taking out Luca means war." Vinnie smirks. "War's coming, Frankie. I'd rather be the one starting it." Act 2. The Hit. In a dark alley behind a nightclub, Vinnie and his men wait for Luca. The ambush is set. As Luca steps out, bullets fly. He goes down, but not before firing back, hitting Frank in the arm. Frank, gritting his teeth. "Damn it, Vinnie. I told you this was messy." Vinnie, dragging Frank into the car. "We finish what we start. No loose ends." But there's a witness. A street kid sees everything and runs. The next day, Detective Carter knocks on Maria Romano's door, looking for Vinnie. Carter, holding up a photo. "Your brother's playing a dangerous game. If he keeps this up, he won't make it out alive." Maria, angry. "You think I don't know that? You think I haven't tried to save him?" Meanwhile, Big Sal isn't pleased. He summons Vinnie to a private meeting. Big Sal, coldly. "You had orders, kid, but you went too far. Now the cops are sniffing around, and I got problems." Vinnie, leaning forward. "I cleaned up your mess. Luca was gonna betray us. I did what was necessary." Big Sal pauses, then smirks. "Maybe you got balls, but Tony, he don't trust you. You better watch your back." Act 3. Betrayal. Vinnie realizes too late that Tony has set him up. One night, Frank warns him. Frank, whispering, "They're coming for you, Vinnie. Tony made a deal with the feds. You're the fall guy." Before they can run, Vinnie and Frank are ambushed at a warehouse. A shootout erupts. Frank is hit badly. Vinnie, shouting, "Stay with me, Frankie." Frank, smiling weakly, "Guess we ain't making it to Miami, huh?" Vinnie, filled with rage, fights his way out and confronts Tony in his father's mansion. Vinnie, pointing a gun at Tony. "You set me up." Tony laughs. "You were getting too big, Vinnie. Someone had to put you down." A gunshot echoes. Tony falls. But before Vinnie can escape, sirens wail. The cops storm in. Detective Carter looks at Vinnie, gun still smoking. Carter, shaking his head. "Game's over, Romano." As he's cuffed and led away, Maria watches from the crowd, tears in her eyes. The life Vinnie chose finally caught up to him. Epilogue. Years later in prison, Vinnie receives a letter from Maria. Maria, voiceover. "You always wanted to be someone, Vinnie, but you were already someone to me. Maybe one day you'll come home." Vinnie stares at the letter, the cost of his ambition finally clear. Act 1. A new game begins. Vinnie Romano has been in prison for 5 years. He's built a reputation inside, gaining respect but also making enemies. One day, he gets a visit from an unexpected guest, Salvatore Big Sal, Costa's lawyer. Lawyer, sliding an envelope across the table. "My client sends his regards. He's got an offer for you." Vinnie, eyeing the letter. "Big Sal? Thought he was done with me after his son took a bullet." Lawyer, smirks. The old man knows the truth now. Tony was a rat. You did him a favor. He wants you out. Vinnie opens the letter. Inside is a message and a single name. Detective Carter. Act 2. Freedom has a price. A few weeks later, Vinnie is unexpectedly granted parole. As he walks out of Sing Sing, Frank, now in a wheelchair, waits for him. Frank, grinning. Look at you, free man. Thought you were gonna rot in there. Vinnie nods. Someone pulled strings. Big Sal wants me to settle a score. Frank, serious. Carter? He's the reason you went down. But messing with a cop? That's a death wish. Vinnie doesn't respond. He knows that in this life, debts must be paid. Act 3. The Last Job. Vinnie meets with Big Sal in a luxury penthouse. The old boss looks frailer now, but his eyes still hold power. Big Sal, gravelly voice. You lost years because of that bastard. Time to return the favor. Vinnie, coldly. And after that, Big Sal chuckles. You take his place. Run this city the right way. Vinnie knows what that means. He'd be the next boss, but at what cost? He takes the job, but something doesn't sit right. Act 4. Truth comes at a cost. Vinnie watches Carter from a distance. The detective has changed. He's retired, drinking too much, living alone. He doesn't look like a man who won. Vinnie decides to confront him instead of killing him. Vinnie, breaking into Carter's home. 5 years? You still sleep at night? Carter, grabbing his gun. What the hell are you doing here? Vinnie, calmly. You set me up. But now I gotta ask, why am I still breathing? Carter lowers the gun, sighs, and pours himself a drink. Carter, gruffly. Because I didn't set you up. Tony did. And Big Sal knew the whole time. Vinnie's face darkens. The truth hits hard. The real betrayal wasn't from Carter. It was from the man who just got him out of prison. Act 5. The final move. Vinnie returns to Big Sal's penthouse, gun in hand. The old man smirks, expecting a job well done. Instead, he finds Vinnie aiming at him. Big Sal, calmly. Careful, kid. You sure you want to do this? Vinnie nods. You sold me out, you used me. And now, you're done. One shot. Big Sal slumps back, lifeless. Vinnie turns to Frank, who waits outside. Frank, lighting a cigarette. What now? Vinnie, smirking. We run this city, our way, no more bosses, just us. As they walk into the night, Vinnie realizes something. He's finally free, but at what cost? The cycle never ends.